started out there, different in your backyard.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I set an intention about 3 years ago when I first teamed up with Coach Jim and was starting to learn the thing, got really inspired. And I said, wouldn't it be nice, man, if I had an Airbnb on all the major time zones
Yes.
so I could get so I could truly get paid while I was sleeping.
Yep. Definitely. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you.
I said that
Um.
3 years ago. And I think right now, I am very, very interested on leveraging a few things. Because we'll get into, occupancy. As you know, unless you live like in perfect weather year round, you're gonna have a season where we have a low and then a season where we have a high.
Yep.
And so,
Mhm.
the wife and I have been saying, you know, by way of co-listing, we're picking up places all the time just by, the law of attraction. But the next space that we actually purchase, wouldn't it be nice if it was in a place where while we were in low season, they were in high season?
Yeah. Definitely. Yep. I understand. Definitely.
So it would actually kind of counterbalance, because we're gonna talk a few things about what is I'm seeing move the needle here during our low season, but that's like my thinking in terms of next step, next market, figure out, especially if you have a person, or I call it boots on the ground, in another market that's exactly opposite of yours. That might be something to ponder.
Definitely.
Yep, yep. All right, man. So any from your last couple of days grinding, any questions that you've run across, or any questions that you just think would be interesting for our people out in social media to kind of ponder? What you thinking about a good question for the marketplace today?
Um. Shoot. I thought of one good question that I had come across the week. Um. Actually, when it comes to cameras, outdoor cameras, like when it comes to, we use Wi-Fi in our places and stuff like that. And depending on what camera you got outside, you may have a Ring camera outside, you may have a Google camera outside, whatever you have for your places. Um, have you ever ran into a situation where they come offline and they disconnect, and that happens, and you actually have somebody go over there that actually does that, that's trusted, like your runaround person or your handyman person to handle that situation with cameras, or you had any issues with internet connection with cameras or anything like that in places? That's one
Hmm.
question I did have. I know I had an issue with that earlier throughout the week and didn't know if I wanted to actually go there myself or just actually hand it off to somebody else, like your main man or anybody.
Yeah.
So that was my quick question about that on how to actually take care of that and handle that. To
That
have
is an
somebody do
interesting
that.
that is a very interesting question. And although I'm going to do my best to answer, I have had no direct experience with it myself, but
Wow.
I know somebody that might. So we're gonna leverage Chat GPT. All right. All
I
right,
actually
so
actually had another question too for the marketplace. Second question.
yeah, go
Um,
ahead, man.
in your experience, I know we have like a whole housekeeping team, cleaning team. Have you had anybody that recently, wanted to say, hey, I want to raise, I want to get more money for actually cleaning. How do you handle that situation if they say, hey, I think it's time for me to get a raise. I want to be paid X and X amount of dollars instead of $50 for clean. I want to get paid 75. It's time
Wow.
for that. Have you had any like cleaners that actually got a little greedy over the times that actually said, "Hey, I need this, or I'm gonna have to stop working for you," anything like that? So I know I recently had that happen to me recently. They actually wanted to up their price and say, "Hey, I think it's time for a raise. If I need to be paid $20 more per turnover." So Yeah, just had a question on that. Have you experienced that, or how did you handle it if you have experienced that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have some life experience with that. And, you know, I can share what happened for Yvonne and I. Not to say that we did it the right way, but it just at the time, based on a little bit that we did know, it felt like we were doing it the right way. Now, and when we get into it, I do look back and I'm always, my goal is always every day and every way I'm getting better and better. So once I get an experience and I've learned from the experience, it allows me to maneuver different if I have that experience again. But I absolutely can speak to that. So very good, man. That's a great question, actually. I think people on social media who are dipping their foot into short term and midterm rentals, who are trying to leverage a team, because the blessing is if you do it right, if you do it really right, you can operate your business on any mobile device from any beach in the world. But you got to do it right. So good question, man. So let's shift gears, man. Now that we got our questions lined up, it's all about winning, man. It's all about winning. Talk to our people, man. Where you been winning at lately?
Oh man, I've been definitely winning this week. Definitely winning. Come to actually good good actual reviews towards my business. I've been having good reviews added up on my business when it comes to the business size, my places. So that's been really good because I haven't really been paying attention to that lately like that. But when you go from like making a few good reviews from like 3, 4, 5 to like 15 and 20, it's like wow, the experience that you're doing and you're providing to your travelers are exponential. So that's definitely a good business win. Thank to God, and just
Right.
upcoming holiday season is definitely a win too. To actually be able to get together while we're still here on Earth. While we're still here in the flesh and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
great good wins with that with faith and family. So can't complain much about that. So that's my great wins for this week.
Yeah, I got a wonder for you, Cornell. And my wonder is this, man. Have you ever taken the time to do a screen capture of any of the positive reviews you're getting and then repost them on social media as a way of, you know, again, we don't chase, but we do attract. So if the right people have the right frequency and they see what we're doing, they may want to actually move in our vicinity. Have you done any of that?
No, not yet. Not yet. Something definitely needs to be done.
Yeah, yeah. Because and I haven't really done it with any level of intentionality, but every now and again, we'll have like an amazing review, and I'll create like a little bit of a reel and saying, hey, you know what, you know, leverage our experience, leverage our the things that we've done well, the things we've done wrong, and check out our community. But I don't, like I said, I don't do it all the time. But when I think about doing it, is when I have a really amazing review. So
Oh, yeah.
that might be something to think about.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, awesome, man.
Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. So I want to, when I get into, I'm doing my wins now, and I just kind of want to dovetail into what you said, especially about, the family and the fitness, man. Yeah. I'm absolutely blessed, as we come together this year in our Thanksgiving. We have family members that were around a year ago. They're not around this year. And that is the case for my family. I'm sure it's a case for many families. So, we just really want to be really mindful of our blessings. And we also want to, be mindful that we might need to make a phone call and, make an extra visit to someone who might be taking it maybe a little harder than us because of just, the way some of us internalize loss. But our matriarch, my mother's mom, we lost her after she was 98 years old. She
Wow.
was the glue that kept our family together. So, this is going to be really, it's new territory for us, not having her around for Thanksgiving. So, we're definitely, hopefully, I'll have a win to report next week. Hopefully, nothing crazy happen. As they say. Um, I guess the other win I'll share with our social media family is um 3 weeks ago, Lewis and I we did a negotiation, we did a presentation with the landlord that his rental arbitrage lease is up. And we shared, our deep deck presentation, answered some questions, showed them the agreement, and as of yesterday, got a confirmation. His exact words were, "We're gonna try this thing for 90 days, and if it make money, it'll make sense."
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's good. And again, we don't chase people; we just plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds, and eventually, those planting, the harvest will reap. But I got to tell you, uh, Cornell, even though when I say my occupancy is kind of mirror where it was a season ago, my cash flow is 3 times. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying that because the co-listing model is absolutely the model to use. And if you want to do this for the long term, because there's been so many examples that I can use as evidence where the profits I made in the high season were eaten up by the rent I paid out in the low season, and it wasn't the occupancy to support it.
Wow.
So, like, you know, I'm definitely living on the overflow right now, and so that's a big win, a real big win. So I'm very thankful about that. All right. So that being said, man, anything else you wanna share with the our folks on social media before we shift gears to occupancy?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, good, 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 good. All right, man. I think I heard, if I remember correctly, you were hovering somewhere between 70 to 80% occupancy as
Yep, I
of
was.
last week.
Yeah, yeah. And so right now I'm at like 80. They're like 80%. Yep, somewhere around there. Yep. So that's
Okay.
that's 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 good. Got a few people that's in there long term, which is
Hmm.
good. So I'm hovering right around 80, 85%.
So for you right now, because I know you're getting a ton of people that like your place so much they book, they extend.
Yep.
For you, man, what's currently that you have in your place? What's the longest booking that is currently on the books as of right now? Current.
Currently right now I have somebody in until I believe March of next year, but they haven't came in yet. They're supposed to come in actually on the 30th. Supposed to come in on the 30th at the end of the month, and they're there till March 2025. So that's
Oh
like the
wow.
longest booking. Um, and I actually had somebody in there, but was coming on the tail end. I had somebody in for like 2.5 months. But they're leaving like I believe on like the 12th of December or something. So yeah,
Mm.
yep. So that long term is just good.
So, and Cornell, I'm not sure if you're in a position to do this, but it would be super dope if you were in front of your computer, if you would be able to screen share and maybe just pull up the message thread of the conversation you had so that you could actually bring that from just a conversation to a booking. Is that at all possible? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
You know what? Right now, I can't even share my screen right now
Okay.
to actually do it. I wish it was possible. But I was actually I didn't know if you had anything similar to that where you can actually share your screen and show like a long-term conversation. How you turned it, but
Yeah.
it's like you're in front of your computer, but
Yeah, I can. I can. I always like to share the mic with my cohorts. But yeah, let me bring that online for you guys right now.
okay.
So
Okay.
sometimes in the truth of the matter, it's more of a blessing and less of, oh, I did this and I got this.
Yep.
So you always acknowledge the blessings. But let me pull up a couple examples of what we're talking about here, of folks that have been in the spot for several months, weeks. Okay. All right, so how about this one? Let me pull up this one. This
Oh,
person
wow.
has been in 111 nights
Wow.
and has spent just shy of $3,500.
Wow.
So yeah, we can pull up that. Let's do that for a second. Let's go to message and let's go to how we navigated that. Okay. So this came in the middle of the summer, right? August
Wow.
10th. Person identified himself. I'm Dan. I'm traveling from Staten Island. I'll be a student attending Brockport, getting my master's. I will only be attending for the football session, which explains why I'm booking an Airbnb and not getting an apartment. I will be coming alone. I don't drink or smoke. I am an athlete. I'm a clean person. I love my privacy, so no worries on unwanted noises or partying because I'm
Wow.
only here for school and football, nothing more. I'm new to the school, so I do not know anyone, but just my coaches and teammates. I hope you will accept my booking. Okay, again, this is kind of like lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah.
Right. So out of the gate, we get some person, and so here's the crazy part, right? It looks like this was on instant booking because my welcome and congratulations message occurred before I even started vetting them.
Yeah. I see.
Okay. So this went out automatically, the congratulation message. And then here we go. Then the whole, okay, this is kind of me vetting them because I had already heard the purpose of their visit. And then now I'm asking them to co-sign on the house rules. So that was the beginning of a $3,000 blessing. So, and we've had some, you know, I got to be transparent. We've had some bumps along the road with this particular person because they are a young person. They're in school. So and it's shared spaces. So you already know sometimes
Yep.
the cleanliness portion is a challenge. Now I also want to bring attention to something that even though I caught down the road, I didn't catch it in real time. Originally, I thought the person that was booking this spot
What's in the profile? Oh,
was the person in the profile. No,
wow.
this is the person's girlfriend.
Oh,
She's not a football player. She's not attending the college. So, like knowing myself, she's from Albany, knowing the challenges that we've had so far, what would have been, my course correction is even though this was a instant booking, at some point my pivot would have been like, okay, I realize that you are booking on behalf of someone else. A, do they have their own Airbnb account? And B, will they, if not, will they have access to your account? Because the truth is, this would have been a much smoother um, um, stay. Despite the money, this would have been a much smoother stay if this person was looking at my communications on an ongoing basis.
Yeah,
And
definitely, definitely.
they're
And it
not.
seems like they didn't. They're not even looking at the other messages at all.
They're not. They're not seeing any of my messages.
Wow.
So when somebody, when another guest who's sharing the space has a concern or has a complaint, everything has to be filtered through the girlfriend.
Yep.
So, again, I think it's really impactful, and maybe you can speak to this too, Cornell, for people. When you have people that are booking on behalf of other folks, the process is not as smooth as it should be.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
What can you share? Because I know you've had this experience also.
With this, yeah, I had this experience also. So what I can share is like usually the same thing like you're saying. It's hard to connect with that person exactly because they're booking through it's what it seems like somebody else's profile and account. So you have to filter out whatever message to them. If you have to say you have to clean up after yourself in the kitchen, you have to remember to take the trash out from the kitchen into the trash bin outside in the backyard, or clean up after yourself when you finish using the shared bathroom. It's all filtered through the other person. So, um, another thing, what I have done too in that situation is I
Mm-hmm.
actually profile, it shows their telephone number. I actually send a text message directly to their phone, also through the platform too, about keeping the quiet down for quiet hours. Remember to clean after yourself after using the shared bathroom. Remember to take out your trash and don't leave dirty dishes in the sink. And also send it to the text message. And the funny thing about it is you get a message responsive message back quicker through the text message than through the platform. So I'm
You
like,
do, you do.
people
What
on that phone all the time.
you're 100% true. Now, Cornell, I don't love the text messaging, but I do it when I need to.
Mhm.
Do you know why I don't love it?
Why not?
I always love to have Big Brother, quote unquote, Airbnb, having a snapshot of my interaction with another person.
Wow.
And so sometimes when you're doing the direct text messaging, if something goes south, now you gotta like second hand, third hand, deliver evidence to support, hey, this is what the expectation was. This is how
Hmm.
I communicated the expectations. And now that the expectation wasn't followed, now I'm seeking damages.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's just much smoother if you can keep it in the text thread. But like Cornell said, in a bind, man, take it offline.
Yeah.
In a bind, take it offline. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just send them a call. Call them. You can call them as well and see. Because a lot of times it's hard to get in touch with those type of people because they never respond back. They don't read the message. You're like, what's going on
Yeah.
here?
It's tough. It's tough. Okay. All right. So let's jump into the Q&A. So the two messages that we're going to dissect on today is we're going to dissect the idea of you have an exterior camera and it's a beautiful thing because you can see people coming and going.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you saw this recently. I just updated. I didn't update. I started a new account because of this co-listing that Lewis just got. And so in creating the new listing, it asked about cameras. And believe it or not, there is a question for new
Hmm.
listings that specifically talks about if you have an interior camera, irrespect. if it's turned on or off. If there's an allegation, Airbnb can fine you.
Oh,
You know,
wow. Okay.
they use the language can or it's not will, but the bottom line is they're really cracking down on guests who have had a terrible experience when hosts have had internal cameras. Nothing wrong with external cameras. I'm just saying, if there's an internal camera, you're going to see some warning signs. I never saw this before. This is something new that they're doing.
Wow.
Yep, yep. Um, so we have a camera external. What happens when it goes offline?
Hmm.
Can leverage your time? I love leverage. Have someone else go out and do it, or should you do it yourself? Okay. The truth of the matter is, I've never had the experience, but if I did have the experience, because I do have like a guy or I have a resource that will come out and assist me, I would
Okay.
absolutely feel comfortable. I think, like, again, I've never done it, but giving him like enough of the information, because in my mind, I'm wondering if I would have to give him my account number and the number to the vendor, if I would feel comfortable doing that.
Hmm.
Right now, my answer is probably not, because he's newer. But
Hmm.
if it was on the team a little bit longer, and because I'm so into the idea of leveraging my time, I think that's the direction I would want him to go. But in the now, not in the future, I would probably be that guy to go out and do it myself.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
just because, better safe than sorry. I don't want to have to change my all my passwords and my accounts for someone who's not, proven yet. That makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you would do that if you had to still had to take a 45-minute drive or hour drive. How would you leverage that, or would you still do that?
Again, my goal it would be, until I find that guy that I actually, the word is trust, right? At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's about the trust factor. If you're on my team and I'm trusting you, then no, I'm not making a 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
You're not on the team yet, and I ain't got another resource, then it's Friday or Saturday or Sunday. You gonna see me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the situation? Sort of sounds like what you're
Yeah,
in?
that sounded the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Well, I see the answer.
Um,
I see why.
do you have anybody in place right now that is on the team that you kind of
Yeah,
trust?
yeah, I do. Definitely kind of. It's just about going back, switching passwords, just for extra security layers and all like
Yeah,
that. But definitely could save you time by doing that too.
for sure, for sure. And listen, man, if your gut, if your center, not what your heart's saying, not what your head's saying, but if your gut is telling you, um, I would go ahead and go ahead and try them out.
Yeah.
If your gut's telling you it's the right thing to do.
Mm.
What 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 all needs to be done with the cameras though?
Really just simply, getting back online by going back in and connecting through your account on your phone to actually get
Uh-huh.
it back online to reconnect. So it's a simple fix. It's just something you have to be near the camera to do.
Correct. Gotcha.
Unless somebody else uses that phone and come in to sign into your account to be near the Wi-Fi connection.
Gotcha. Okay. Beautiful. Well, I think if anybody's out there listening and you have a camera issue, bottom line is, congrats for using them, because they can help mitigate a lot of trouble, but also have like a plan, a backup plan. So like if you're in a situation like Cornell's speaking on, and you were 45-minute away, if you can save yourself the time and effort, then absolutely do so. Absolutely. Um, and let's change the scene up now. Let's remix this. Let's look at when the housekeeper want to level up on your dime. I love it. I love it. I love it. So here we are. You had a housekeeper. They've been on the team 6 months, a year and change. I don't know. And they want a cost of living adjustment, right? Basically.
Yeah.
So tell our audience the backstory.
So backstory with that is so actually one of our team members, this person actually particular was coming to turn over our actual room and actually found this happened more than once though, but actually found some kitchen trash near the kitchen trash can. So sort of what I mean by that is like pizza boxes, people taking out, trash and putting it in a smaller trash bag and sitting it next to the kitchen trash can versus taking it out and putting it in the trash can by the front garage door. So she's seen that a few times and had got kind of upset about.
Did she let me stop you real quick. Did she just see it and just take it in, or did she see it and document it with a photo and send it to you?
So she documented with a photo and sent it to me saying,
Okay.
hey, this is what your guest is doing, leaving the trash by the trash can versus taking it out and putting it in the trash bin by the garage door, which I do have a trash bin right outside. And we often send reminder messages about cleanliness, taking out your trash as a reminder. But this has happened a few times before. And, of course, when it comes to the actual cleaner on the team, they actually are supposed to do that anyway. That's part of their job. They're supposed to take out the trash when they turn over, take out the trash in the bathroom, kitchen, etc., and do that. But by this happening a few times, she actually demanded, oh, instead of you paying me, $50 per cleaning or $55 per cleaning, now I need 75. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. So they're just demanding a raise. So it's sort of like, oh, just because of that, which me as being host and a businessman, I'm like, that's a part of your job. As a cleaner, you're supposed to take the trash anyway, but they demanded a raise anyway. So with that situation, I ran into that the first time I ran into that. And that's why I asked that question. And I like, have you ran into that situation or had anybody that did that? And how did they handle it? Did they end up giving that person a raise, a $20 raise because of something simple like that, which is most likely supposed to be a part of their job? Or did you handle it in a different way? So,
So sure. So let me ask you this question. Do you think that this particular guest um um should be made to compensate your cleaner because you're providing an additional service?
Yeah,
Because
definitely. I just, particularly, I know that she said she didn't know what guest particularly did it because it could have been more than one. They just
ah,
piled up the trash in the kitchen. Maybe I'm pretty sure that happened to you where people would just pile it up in the kitchen and they don't take it out, and they
right.
should, but not knowing who particularly have done it. Do you give that particular house cleaner a raise or do you just have a conversation with them saying, hey, let's keep
So
it.
let me talk to you in terms of the difference between what your housekeeper is communicating and what mine did. Your housekeeper it's like a cause and effect. They're doing their job, and I'm sure they're doing their job with a high, at a high level because you demand excellence, and they're kind of frustrated because they're now having to do, instead of spending 45 minutes in the house, maybe they're spending 65 minutes or 75 minutes because of the additional steps. You agree?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, that's a different kind of conversation than the conversation where, okay, we're at the beginning of, we're going into the new quarter, and now I need a 30% increase. Like
Mm.
like where did that come from? That was like blindsided. Like Like, hold on now. So just coming from a place of okay, this is I've experienced this. I'm gonna tell you how I've handled both situations. And I hope some of this can be immediate conversation that you can have as well with your team. So the first thing is I think that oh my gosh, I think I just generated. How about this? This is how Providence works. Social media, the universe, my God's universe knew that Cornell was going to ask me this question. And so he actually, God put me in a situation a week ago where I had to generate a message to answer this. So hold on, let me pull up my message thread. Ain't God good?
That is good.
Ain't God, ain't God good? All right. Believe it or not, it was the same person that we were just kind of conversating on.
Wow.
Let me pull up this message thread. Uh, where are they? Okay, cool. All right. So I'm gonna give you the backstory. My cleaner goes in to get room. This is room 2 right here. My cleaner goes in to get room 1 ready. And she says, "Oh my God." I'm not sure if you guys can see these pictures, but she sends me pictures like offline. McCray, this is ridiculous. He is the only person in this 3-bedroom house. And this is like concierge service. I'm supposed to be getting ready room 1, but I'm spending all my energy picking up the common area. And this hasn't been the first time she's reached out, right?
Wow.
So I politely take the pictures that she sent to me and I put them in a text thread. And
Mm-hmm.
again, this is crazy because as you know, I'm not dealing directly with the guest. I'm dealing with the girlfriend of the guest.
Yeah.
So here it is. Dear Majeda, I think that's how you say her name. Our cleaning team has informed us that despite Daniel being the sole occupant of the property for the past several weeks, the unit continues to have significant clutter and require additional cleaning when preparing for new guests. To address this, an additional cleaning fee of $67 will be charged for any month where our cleaner provides photos of conditions similar to those attached. All right, so I want to say a couple things. This has gone on for a couple of months, but yet I've been kicking the can down the road, hoping it's gonna get better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now saying this has not getting better, so there's gonna be an extra fee for additional services that is going to be applied immediately, right now, real time. And
Yeah.
then moving forward, every time occurs, another $67 is going to be applied. Why?
Yep, I agree.
Because my cleaner should get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not money I'm going to do anything with. All this money is going straight back to my cleaner.
Yep.
Okay. Now there's a couple things y'all ought to know. This person may be like, okay, my bad. You're 100%. Let me handle this. Or they may try to go south on you. In which case, you know what? Airbnb got you covered because there's this
Mm-hmm.
little thing here called send or request money.
Mm-hmm.
You open this up and I'm going to say request money. And it's going to give me an error statement because I've already done it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've already done it and it hasn't been resolved.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Extra services, expenses that weren't included in the cost of the reservation. Okay. So you see my error statement? It says here,
Yeah.
already escalated the claim. Please wait for the Airbnb team to review it. So Airbnb is now involved. They're now involved. So if this guest decides they don't want to be responsible, I ain't gonna get the money. I'm gonna have to get it straight from Airbnb, and then my cleaner will get the money.
Oh,
We'll do it.
wow.
We'll do it that way.
Okay.
That that is
That's
the
interesting.
way I would recommend you handle your guests. Now,
Yes.
here's the reality. The reality is, okay. So this is where I am with this guest right here. Extra services. I made the request on the 17th. Airbnb gives them 72 hours to say something. After 72 hours, you reach out to Airbnb and you tell Airbnb what's going on. For me, I say, hey, guest has ignored my request to be paid for extra services. Now, ironically, after I got Airbnb involved, the guest now has a voice.
That's
So
what.
so here's what their voice is. I mean, it's neither here or there because I know my cleaner's gonna be paid. Um, but here's what they ended up saying, and I wouldn't even be bringing this up, but I'm sharing this with social media in the hope in the goal of them learning from my stuff. Here's what she says. She says regarding pictures, one of the box of food supplies doesn't belong to Daniel. Again, that's odd because he's the only person in the unit at this point.
What?
Okay. Again, he doesn't cook or use plates and cups in the house. He might not cook, but he does use plates and cups in the house. So you're not there. You're the girlfriend. He has plastic and paper utensils which he keeps in his room. The garbage situation is not fair because the garbage has to be. I don't know what she's trying to say. He empties it when it wasn't full yet. I think she's saying that the garbage has to be over full, and then he'll empty it. No bueno. No bueno. That's not good. The bathroom garbage he takes responsibility for because again, it wasn't ready to be empty. Whatever. Um, what's she saying? Don't need to be charged. So she's basically trying to justify why she doesn't want to be paid, charged $67. Cleaning and damage price comes in. So, I will just say, because I haven't notified her, Airbnb services, customer services, uh, will be in contact to get this matter properly resolved. So let me pause for a moment. Would any of that language help you? I mean, could you use it in your situation, Cornell?
Yeah, definitely. That's some good language. And it's so neat and it's so intelligent. So this is great. Definitely. I know I did. This is great to use. I'm definitely going to do this next time. To just to just cover your cleaners for doing that extra service, that extra work. I know
You
when it
want to?
comes
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't want
I know when it comes to this type of stuff that you're requesting and you're getting them involved, Airbnb involved. Now, when usually the guests don't respond and they usually don't respond to a request that you send out through the resolution center,
to. Yep.
I know Airbnb ended up covering it. Now, if they end up covering it on that guest's behalf, does that still come out of the guest's pocket some type of way, or how does that look on that end?
Can I be honest with you? I
Yes.
don't know, and I don't care. All I
Uh-huh.
care about is my cleaner.
Yeah, definitely.
My cleaner needs to get paid for the extra service.
Yeah, definitely.
And quite honestly, they should get paid, but they should get paid
Great.
from us because we're business people.
Yeah.
We want to keep our fixed expenses fixed. So
Definitely.
like, and so let's play this out. Suppose there were three people in the unit and not just the one person. I really wouldn't know who was who. So here's what I would do. I would send a general message out to everybody. And then I would add in, if additional photos come out, then I'm gonna have to address this by adding an additional fee for cleaning for extra services. Because concierge and maid services is one reason we keep the we don't add that to our prices, because we're trying to keep the prices low.
Yep.
But if I gotta now do that, that raises the price. And we I don't want to pass that price back on to you, Mr. or Mrs. Guest.
Yep.
So that's kind of how I would navigate that. So there wasn't a second way of thinking through this. Like, your
Mm-hmm.
cleaner is giving you, like, okay, for now, this building up, this is building up. This is why I think I'm entitled to get paid more. I think if you start doing things like this, Cornell, and then your
Yep.
person does get paid for when they got to do, again, they should be there for 45 minutes, and now they're there for hours, 90 minutes. That's not right.
Mm-hmm. No.
That's not right. Um, and I'm not suggesting you do this all the time, but in the meantime, while Airbnb is trying to get this resolved, go ahead and bless them yourself. Go ahead and pay them $67 for that extra charge, because you know you're going to get yours on the back end.
Yeah, definitely back in. Yep. Yeah, that.
Okay. All right, man, all right, you were there 90 minutes. Boom. All right, this is an additional amount because of the extra time. Boom. Now that will work if that person is like letting you know, okay, this is the cause and effect. Now, like, the situation I was in was just totally, oh, okay, we need to have a Zoom meeting. Why do we need to have a Zoom meeting? Well, because the invoice that you're giving me is 30% more than what I was paying 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was just paying the bill last month, and I wasn't really examining the invoices. Corner, I've changed so much, man.
Yeah.
Or back in the day, man, I would just pay invoices. I wouldn't look at the numbers. I was just throwing away money.
Wow.
Now I got two things. My cleaners know I pay on invoices on on Friday and Saturday of the week. I don't pay if you do a job on Monday or you do a job on Sunday, you're not getting paid Sunday or Monday. You get paid because I want to get a chance to, in real time, look at the invoice and make sure I understand what I'm paying on.
Makes sense. Okay.
I don't mind paying you, but it won't be the day of. Like, if you do a job for me today, if that day don't land on a Friday or Saturday, there's always exceptions, but I'm just trying to give you kind of the flow of how my brain works. Um, I got to get a chance to, and I got to be able to look at all of my invoices at once, so I can see what the pattern is. So I had this one cleaner. I loved her. This was the most thorough person I had, and I had them at the largest property I had. I actually had a place that I couldn't convert from a rental arbitrage to a co-listing. 7 bedrooms, beautiful. 6 bedrooms were in the house, and then I had one uh um fully furnished apartment in the basement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And I was actually, I was actually charging an extra. So um I I was paying them more for the standalone apartment than I was doing for
Yeah.
the rooms, because there
Mm-hmm.
was there was more to it. So, like, I wasn't always paying attention to the numbers. But the long and the short of it, I ended up firing this person.
Wow.
I ended up firing this person, not because they weren't doing a good job, but because I wasn't making any money.
Right. Yeah. I see.
I wasn't making any money. I wasn't, and at the time, this was a funky, stuff. I had connected with Coach Jim, and Coach Jim had me believing that your cleaner in addition to cleaning for you, you would have to pay them a monthly service charge so they can restock your stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
And like me not knowing what I didn't know, I just said, "Oh, okay, this is what Coach does. I'll do it too." No, like I went back in my records
Hmm.
just and I had periods where I didn't have really any check-ins or check-outs because of how crazy slow New York had gotten. Or
Oh
maybe I
yeah.
had one. So I had one turnover, but I was still spending $150 per spot over 10 spots.
Wow. Yeah,
That
I see.
for a service charge.
So
Crazy stuff. Crazy. So the whole point is, I don't think you're in that situation. But two things. Um, you shouldn't ever have a model where your cleaner has a service charge for you giving them the business. Like even if you Amazon all the supplies to them,
mhm.
um, I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable calling that a service charge if you break them off, you know, X number of dollars just to restock.
Oh no, no, no. You should just send it to them and have them just restock anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I do.
so like if you find yourself in a place where your cleaners are not necessarily being realistic, then you're gonna have to say, have a heart to heart to say, hey, listen, either I keep you on the team and we can actually, find a middle ground, or um I no longer, can use you on the team.
Yeah,
And you don't want to be a, a dickhead about it, but you want to keep it 100
yeah.
because this is a business. So, cool. Let me pause, man. Any comments, connections, anything that you would question?
Actually, no. That's all good advice. I'll be
Yeah,
implementing. I believe it. It's all good advice and it makes sense.
yeah. And stand tall, brother. It sucks having to hire new team members,
Yeah,
but
retrain them. Yeah.
it's par for the course.
Yep.
It is par for the course. Okay, well, cool, man. That being said, man, how do you think this is gonna play out real time for you? What direction do you feel like you're gonna take with your cleaning?
That direction. I think I'm gonna actually have a one-on-one with them about that and go from there, especially if they want a crazy increase, like a 30% increase just for that. Just have a one-on-one with them, and if not, just you get another team member, a part of the team, you know.
Yeah,
So it's a part of business.
yeah, yeah. So, all right, well, hold on now. That was the end of our conversation until I see
Oh
she's
wow.
she's trying to respond. So, social media, let's figure out real time what's going down. Daniel will check out early, most likely tomorrow, Wednesday. Just want to give you a heads up. Oh, okay. I'm assuming he's checking out early because it's Thanksgiving week.
Okay, okay. With that situation, would you let them check out early, or they finished their whole reservation now to the 30th?
No, no. I ain't giving them. Listen, we're in business. We're not doing refunds. I'm not
Okay, okay.
modifying the booking. But, but his space until the 30th. Or if he want to leave on the 26th, that's up to him.
Yeah, but no refunds.
No, this is a business, man.
uh,
This is a business. All right, man. So for you, Cornell, man, just kind of for our folks in social media, man, what are one or two things which you think that they would benefit most from if they're looking at the short term, midterm rental space, they want to get started and they don't want to make any mistakes. What would be a couple things that they should take away from today's conversation?
things should take away. Lastly, what we talked about with our team members, keeping them going, and it also should take away a major takeaway that we have was just communicating and using I know we briefly breezed over this, but using AI. They should definitely take over that. That's a big key. And also just treating it like a business, like you were saying, treating it like a business, keeping your feelings out of it, and just really from this midterm, short-term rental business that we're in, and just going over communication like we just did, right? You showed through the message thread. Those are key ways that they could take away, so they won't get caught up in doing something that they regret down the line and they can't turn around and undo. So those are the key takeaways.
Cool beans, man. Cool
I
beans. All
think
right,
I
man.
took away personally. They could take away as well.
All right, man. Well, great, man. Great. Well, again, man, Cornell, you have a great Thanksgiving for the family, for
Yep.
everybody out on social media. As you know, we're big on family. So I'll say it always, and I'll always mean it. Be blessed, but more importantly, be a blessing. All right. Take care.
Amen.
God bless everybody.
God bless. Amen.